Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How is everyone today? Can everybody wave to me? Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Wally. Does everybody remember me? Yes or no? Put your hand up if you remember Wally. Wow. Are you all happy to see me again? Very good. Okay, how's everybody been? Has everybody had a good week? Let me ask some of you. Hi, Lani. How's your week been? Good, excellent, good, excellent. Manika, how are you, Manika? Go ahead, Liney. How are you?
Very good, sir. Very, very good.
Good. Well, I've had a sprained ankle. I've survived surgery and I'm back here to teach. I've had a very good week. I hope you've had a better week, Liney. Good on you, mate. Good to see you again, gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Let me talk to Manika. Hi, Manika. How are you, Manika?
Hi,
Good. Are you
good.
looking forward to today's class?
Yes, sir.
Good. Excellent, Manika. Good to see you. Okay, who else have I got to talk to here? Where are some of my regulars? Come on. Mr. Shakil, are you here? Hello, Shakil. Hi, Shakil. I see you now. How are you
Uh,
today?
I'm good, sir. Thank you. And how are you after the surgery? Sorry to hear
I'm
that.
very good, Shakil. I'm well enough. I'm here. I'm alive, mate. I at least I get to teach and that eliminates my pain. I'm very happy to be here today.
It's great to see you, sir.
Thank you, Shakil. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Let me go on. Who have I got? Okay, who else have I got here? Some lovely faces. Where's Mr. Nixon? Mr. Nixon, are you here? Hello, Mr. Nixon. Nixon, are you there? Can you unmute your microphone, Nixon? I think Nixon is getting himself coffee. All right, who else have I got here? Um, Rosa, you need to switch on your camera. Bhavani, you need to switch on your camera. Sanju, okay, all of you need to switch on your camera. Otherwise, my admin clerk will not give you a certificate because for BizTalk, you are getting a certificate that you have attended and participated. Unless your video camera is actually switched on, you really haven't participated. So if you want the certificate, please make sure you switch on your camera now. This is my final reminder. Your camera must be on in order to ensure that you get an attendance certificate, which you can use as extra training received the next time you apply for a job. Everybody, switch on your cameras, please. That includes you, Nixon. I don't need your photo. I need your live camera feed. Nixon, thank you. Okay, good, excellent. I still have 5 people without camera. Ivy Sanchez, Jocelyn Timbal, Jennifer Ekulas, Norji Bin Ompasuk, Bhavani, Princess Joy, Ira, and Raghu. Also, Ray Rentis. You all need to switch on your live cameras and they must stay on throughout today's session. Otherwise, there is no certificate being issued to you. Jocelyn Timbal, Jennifer Ekulachi, and Bhavani, you need to switch on your cameras. Everybody needs to have their camera on. That includes you, Princess. And Ray Rentis, you need to have your camera on. Jocelyn Timbal, you need to have your camera on. Jennifer, you need to have your camera on. You need to have your cameras on or no certificate. Very good afternoon to you all. Guys, today we're talking about profitability and breaking even. Does anybody know what I mean by profitability? Who can put up their hand and tell me? What does the word profitability mean? What does it mean? Profitability, what does it mean? Can anyone tell me? What do you think it means? Who can we start with? Come on, who wants to start? Okay, come on. Bhavani, can you tell me what do you think profitability means? Bhavani, can you unmute your microphone? Go ahead, Bhavani. What does profitability mean, Bhavani?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, what does profitability mean to you?
What
What
is
does profitability mean? Do you know?
profit?
No, it's okay. It's all right. Don't have to be shy. It's okay. You'll learn today. It's okay, Bhavani. Make sure you listen to the lesson. Okay. How are you doing today, Bhavani? Are you happy today?
Okay, sir. Happy,
Good.
sir.
Excellent. Okay. I look forward to talking to you throughout the lesson. Who can tell me, what does profitability mean? Amal, can you tell me? Go ahead, Amal. Are you there, Amal? No? Amal has moved. Okay. Let's try one other student. Who have we got? Let's try Elma. Hi, Elma. Can you tell me, what do you think profitability means, Elma? Elma Vidal. Yeah, tell me, what do you think profitability means, Elma?
Yes,
Are you
good
there?
afternoon.
What do you
Yes, sir.
think profitability means?
Profitability, I think it refers to the ability of a business or investment to generate profit, which is the difference between revenue and expenses.
Very good.
Like
You're on the
the
right track. Very good. You're on the right track. Very good. So profitability is what's left over as the difference between revenue less expenses. Very good. Excellent. Okay, let's now go to our lesson today and let's start looking at what profitability and profit are. Profit and profitability are different by nature. However, they both infer the difference between expenses and revenue, the remaining value, okay, but they do have a difference in professional meaning as to how we read profit. So let's start our lesson and learn what is the difference and how can they help you in everyday life and how can they help you to run your own business. Here we go. Okay, let me start from the beginning of the lesson. Just one moment, please. Okay, here we go. All right, so business profitability and breaking even. There is a meaning to this because remember, for every business to stay in business, they need to make a profit. So if we talk about in basic terms, profit or profitability is the amount of money made after every avenue of earnings and expenses is the profitability of the business. So what we're saying there, after you take the revenue minus all your expenses, anything that's left should be profit. And that means business is profitable. Now, if a business is not profitable and never makes a profit, therefore, the general consensus is that business will not stay in business very long. They'll eventually cease business. Profitability and profit are not the same, guys. Both are accounting metrics that are used to analyze financial success of a company, but there are distinct differences between the two. Profitability and profit. So I think you all think they're both the same. They're not. How do we decide whether the company has enough money to grow? In order for the company to get enough money or to have enough money to grow, first, you must understand what differentiates profit from profitability. Profitability is the measurement of efficiency. It's a metric that is used to determine the scope of a company's profit in relation to the size of the business and ultimately its success or failure. For example, our company produces cars. We have a factory, but we can only produce 200 cars a week. However, we have customers that want 500 cars a week. That means each week, 52 weeks a year, we underproduce 300 cars a week. That means we're not going to be profitable because we continue to lose money by not being able to produce enough cars in order to generate enough revenue to make us long-term profitable. That is profitability. There are two parts to a company's profitability. One, its revenue, and two, its expenses. As such, a company is profitable if its revenue exceeds its expenses. Let me go back to the car factory. If you have a car factory that you spent $200 million building, and when you open, you can only produce 200 cars a week, not 500 cars a week, then the amount of revenue you generate may not be enough to pay the salaries of the 2,000 people in the factory and maintain the machinery and the equipment in the $200 million factory. Because for you to be able to cover your monthly expenses, you know that you have to sell 500 cars a week to start with, or produce 500 cars a week. Therefore, ultimately, its success or failure will be determined by whether the company has enough efficiency in order to generate enough revenue to make it profitable. Even businesses or companies that are extremely profitable and have bright futures are subject to failure if they cannot maintain a profitable operation. What do I mean by that? Very simple. I just gave you an example of a car factory, right? You all heard my example of the car factory. So if the car factory, Bhawani, Elma, Govind, and all of you, if the car factory costs $200 million to build, and when you borrowed the money from your investors, you told the investor this is based on producing 500 cars a week. But after you open, you find out that you can only do 200 cars a week, and that means you have a shortfall of 300 cars a week. That means your revenue will be lower, and you may not be able to generate enough money to cover your expenses. You may only generate enough to pay your expenses, but nothing will be left for profit. Therefore, the business, if it continues to run in that state of uncertainty, will end up being unprofitable and fail. How is profitability determined, guys? It's a very simple formula. There are several factors that come into play when it comes to a company being profitable. Most of these can be shaped by the company and its management team, while others might not necessarily be easy to control. So some of the elements can be controlled, some of them can't. Okay. The first one is expenses. An expense is a cost that the business incurs in producing the cars or running the business. Expenses can include the wages, the salaries, the cost of maintenance, the rent, the depreciation on the equipment. It can include all expenses, fixed or variable expenses. Expenses are deducted from the amount of revenue you earn, and the difference between revenue and expenses should give you profit. Okay. So if you cannot control expenses, you eat away the company's profit. Expenses can spell the difference between being profitable or not. So if you allow your expenses to exceed your revenue or your income, you will show a loss. That's why it's important for companies to do their research before they say, we can build 500 cars a week. They need to make sure that they know how powerful is the factory, how many staff can they employ, and what is the production capacity in the first month, second month, third month, until all the staff become fully trained to use that equipment. Conducting focus groups. So what usually happens, in order to make sure that the business can generate enough revenue to produce enough money to cover its expenses, a lot of companies or businesses these days have focus groups. That means during the startup, while they're setting up the company, they have the right ideas from a team of people or people who've worked in the industry before to make sure that the factory can produce enough products or their company can deliver enough services in order to generate the right amount of revenue required. If you don't understand your market, if you don't understand how many people are your potential customers, you cannot calculate whether you're going to be profitable or not, or make any forecasts. Does everybody remember in other classes you may have already learned about the need to evaluate the 5 C's before you start a business? Does everybody remember those? Yes or no? Wave your hand if you remember the 5 C's. Everyone, wave your hand. Come on, everyone, wave your hands now. Okay, well, the 5 C's are understanding your customer, understanding your market, understanding your product, understanding what price the customer is prepared to pay, and more importantly, is understanding what level of service the customer expects of your company. So in order to understand your customer, you must understand the market that you're going to sell your product in. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands to me, please? Come on, wave your hands. So being centric is being able to put yourself in your customer's shoes. Does everybody understand what I mean by being centric? Yes or no? So do you all understand how important the 5 C's are, even to when you come to evaluate profitability? If you don't understand the 5 C's, then you're not capable of generating a decent estimate of what your profitability will be and what your expenses will be, because you don't understand what your potential market is. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay, wave your hands to me, everyone. Come on. Okay, good. All right, let's go on. So focus groups are like a group discussion with other industry experts or people who are going to work for you who know the business to get their ideas on what you need to do to make sure that you can generate enough revenue in order to cover your expenses on a regular basis. And that could be making sure you can generate enough product to put on the shelves to sell, enough cars to meet customer demand, or have enough people to provide the service in order to generate the revenue that your company advertises. Demand. By knowing the 5 C's, you will know who your customers are. You will know how much demand you can generate for the product that you're going to manufacture. It's no point spending $200 million on a factory that can make 500 cars a week if you can only sell 25 cars a week. You don't need a factory. So knowing what your customers want, knowing what customers want you to produce, and knowing how your product will help the customer, knowing how much the customer is prepared to pay for your product, and which markets are your biggest potential, you will be able to plan how much product is produced, how much you're going to spend on setting up infrastructure, and how much you can spend on manpower in order to make sure you can make the product available at the right price to your customer. Because if you employ too many people or spend too much on machinery and you don't have enough customers to buy the product, then you're going to end up having to charge your customers a higher price. and eventually reduce the demand for your products. And that will mean you being unprofitable. The next factor is productivity. Productivity refers to being able to produce enough product to keep the company afloat. Remember at the beginning, I shared with you the example of the car factory. Does everybody remember the car factory? Yes or no? Everybody remember the car factory? Put your hands up if you remember the car factory. Come on, everybody, hands up. The car factory? Okay. So if the car factory can only produce 200 cars a week, that is times 4, 800 cars a month. But they have a demand for 1,500 cars or 1,800 cars a month. 500 times 5, or if we work 5 days, is 2,500 cars a month. 5 times 7 is 3,500 cars a month. But if you only produce 200 cars every day, that's 1,000 cars over 5 days, or 1,400 cars over 7 days. You're not even 50% of your 3,500 cars that you estimated being 500 cars a day for 7 days. So unless you have the right productivity to meet demand, you will end up wasting money, and in the end, your cost will be higher than your profit. On the other hand, if you have a factory that can only deliver 400 cars when your demand is 500, again, you may be underestimating how much profit you're going to generate, and that will reduce your amount of profit after deducting expenses, because you could have produced another 100 cars, but you're not able to because the factory you built was not of the right caliber to produce that number of cars, because you had not relied on your 5 C's, understanding your market and also understanding how long it takes to produce the product and how big you need a factory in order to produce 500 cars a day. Does everybody understand that so far? Yes or no? Do you all understand that? Yes or no? So when all of you go to buy something, you go to McDonald's to buy a hamburger. McDonald's have a policy that the customer shouldn't wait more than 3 to 5 minutes under their new CTO cook-to-order scheme. But sometimes you do. And eventually you may walk away and say, I want a refund. That means McDonald's had just lost a sale because they're unable to deliver their promise of producing a product within 3 to 5 minutes, which is what their customers expect. That's how they base their sales forecast. But every time a customer cannot wait more than 5 minutes and he walks out, what will that do to that McDonald's profitability for that day? It'll reduce the profitability. Do you all understand that, everyone? And that goes with any business, any type of business, or any type of company. Do you all understand that? Yes or no? Okay, good. Let's go back to my slide presentation. Okay. So we've already looked at productivity. We've already looked at expense. For instance, companies may consider increasing their production goals and or upgrading their production equipment and facilities in order to meet productivity. And the reason for that if you don't do that and continue underproducing, that eventually you're going to lose market share and your losses will grow. So if you believe that you built a factory for 400 or 300, and now you need to produce 500, and this is happening week after week, then you, for instance, need to consider to stop procrastinating and increasing your loss potential and immediately increase factory production capabilities. Competition. This is one factor that companies may not be able to control. However, it's still a challenge they should be aware and meet head on. So as a business, you should also ask yourself, what can I do to make me better than my competition. Business that operate in the same industry and provide similar products and services can eat away at each other's profits. So as a business, you have to constantly ask yourself, what is my competition doing? What can I do better to remain better than them? The minute you go to sleep and forget your competitor is the minute that you endanger your ability to continue being profitable. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Very good. Okay. Does everybody understand what I said about profitability? Does everybody understand why it's important to know what your competition is doing? Yes or no? So if you don't understand, or you don't understand what your competition is doing or has done, and don't learn from what they're doing and their mistakes, there's no way you can stay competitive. And that's why on a regular basis, you must do a SWOT analysis of your competition. You must ask, what are the strengths? What are the weaknesses of my competitors? What opportunities has my competitor opened for me? And what threats, if any, do I have from my competitor? You need to do that on a regular basis, because the minute you fail to understand your competitors is the minute you put yourself at risk of becoming not profitable. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Okay. All right, let's go on. Okay, here we go. Remember, when we say competition and not understanding your competition, if you don't understand your competition and if you're not able to stay ahead of them, it will decrease your profitability and their profitability. Staying ahead of competition or diversifying and or releasing new products can help boost profits and keep you profitable, and if anything, do away with your competition, because you're now producing a better product, a more reliable product at a better price than your competition. So now that we've looked at that, what are some very simple steps to increase profit? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone give me, in 2 words, ideas about how you can increase profit? Who wants to go first? Shaquille, would you like to go first? Give me 2 words that a company can do to increase profit. Go ahead, Shaquille.
Okay, so profit basically is the differential between expenses and the revenues. If the company devises a strategy to enhance its revenue and decrease its expenses, then it can generate more profit.
Okay, another one. Reduce expenses is one. What's another one?
Increase the revenue.
Increase revenue by coming up with new products or more advanced products, or
To be
finding
more
out what the customer demands.
to be more efficient and more productive, and to catch up with the demand of the customer.
To meet customers' wants. Would I be correct?
Yes.
Very good, Shaquille. Thank you. Who else can tell me what is another way a company can increase its profit? Can we talk to Kong Lin? Hi, Kong. What do you think? What's another way for a company to increase its profit? Kong, what's another way for a company to increase its profit? Kong, are you there? Kong can't Lin? Are you there? Kong can't Lin? I can't hear you. Can you unmute your microphone, sir? Can you unmute your microphone? Kong can't Lin? Govin, can you send him a message? Yeah, go ahead, Kong. What's another way for a company to increase its profit? Go ahead, Kong. how do you think a company can increase its profit? Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you answer? Do you understand what my question is? If you had a business and you wanted to increase your profit, the first way would be to reduce your expenses. The second way would be to come up with new products. Is there anything else you can tell me? Kong? It's okay, Kong. You don't have to be shy. Switch your camera on and just talk to me. I'm here to help you, Kong. You don't have to switch off your camera. It's okay. I'm here to teach you. You don't learn if you switch off your camera. Do you understand my question, Kong? Okay, it's all right, Kong. I'll come back to you. It's okay. Listen to my question. My question was, if you have a business, Kong, and you want to increase your profit, how can you do it? Number one, reduce your expenses. Number two, come up with new products to generate more sales. Is there any other way you can do it, Kong? Okay, all right, let's talk to someone else. Let's talk to Negocio. Negocio. Hi. Negocio, are you there? How are you, mate? Can you unmute your microphone? Hi, how are
I'm
you?
there, sir. Hello,
So tell me, other
I'm
than
good.
reducing expenses, coming up with new product, how else can a company increase profitability?
Uh, in the presence of coming up with new products, a company can increase its productivity by trying to reduce the cost of those products. I think that is an additional way
By
of
becoming more
increasing
efficient to reduce costs. Is that what you're saying?
reduce cost of those products.
Okay,
Exactly,
very
sir.
good. Thank you. That's a very good suggestion. Thank you, sir. All right. Can anybody else suggest anything else? Can you put your hands up? Anyone else? Okay, let's talk to Lani. Lani, go ahead. How do you think companies can reduce expenses, increase profit? Go ahead, Lani. Unmute your microphone.
Uh,
Yeah.
to increase the profit of the company is you need to prepare for the budget or focus to your profit margin and evaluate the business productivity.
Okay, very good. You're on the right track. Thank you. Yeah, you're on the right track. Thank you. Okay, let's go to someone else. Let's talk to Afungi. Hi, Afungi. How can you lower costs and increase profit? Go ahead, Afungi.
Yes, you can do that by innovating on your product,
Being
line.
innovative, improving your product or
Yes,
creating new product. Is that right?
yes, and
Very good.
you can as
Go
well
on.
diversify in your products.
Okay.
Diversification.
Anything diversification by improving your product or making something better about it in order to reduce the costs to the customer. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
that's what
very
I
good.
mean.
Thank you, Afungi. Thank
That
you.
is what I mean.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay, let's go to someone else. Let's talk to Michelle. Michelle. Okay, go ahead, Michelle. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What do you suggest?
Yes, sir. In order to increase our profits, of course, the first thing, if we had the companies, we offer the cashback companies credit cards. It's like giving some percentage of their purchases back to them
All
as
right.
a cashback.
So you would suggest introducing a loyalty or cashback program, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
And also, sir, at the same thing, I would love to develop the marketing and the branding.
Improve on your marketing and branding strategy. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
So if you can reach more customers, that would cover the cost of the additional marketing as long as you're able to retain those customers. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next person. Who's gonna let me call on one more? Who have I got? Okay, Jocelyn, go ahead, Jocelyn. Are you there, Jocelyn?
Hi, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, sir. As actually, we're doing the sales business, sir. We usually do like, of course, to know the demands of the client, and of course, to do the as a as a like we are on a generation that's digital marketing is there, sir. Social media
Very good.
is the best thing, sir. We usually
Okay.
do lots of ads on the social media, sir.
Very good. So basically, what you would do is increase marketing. Is that what you're saying, to
Yes, sir.
reach more
Yes,
people?
sir.
Okay, good.
Yes,
All right. But you have to make sure that the people you get from that marketing are customers that you're going to retain. Otherwise, you have to waste money marketing
we
again.
do.
So
Yes, sir.
retention becomes very important. Thank you. All
Yeah,
right,
we
good.
do.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So let's just go on and then I'll come back and talk to the rest of you. Okay. Don't worry, Muhammad. Don't worry, Alma. Don't worry, Tawi. And don't worry, Mary Lou. I'll be back with you in a few minutes. All right, let's go on. Okay. Okay, so remember, increase of profitability can be by cutting the fat. This is simple as identifying where there is excess business waste and making changes to eliminate them. For instance, updating outdated machinery, especially equipment that uses too much power, that can be a great way to save expenses and reduce your power bills and reduce inefficiencies. That's one way. Okay, cut fat. The other way of reducing expenses is to make sure that you have only the right number of people working and not too many people working, which puts fat on your manpower costs. The other one is trust those who are loyal to the brand. Companies should focus on their existing customer base. Make sure you focus on your existing customer base and try to constantly interact with them and motivate them to buy your new product by having innovative and improved products at all times. Look for new ventures. This could mean doing what some of the students said by looking at new ways to market, new ways to rebrand your product, or new ventures to go into new markets for your product. By doing so can mean the difference between success and failure. Usually, if you're moving into a new market or promoting the product in a different way in a different market, you can actually bring in the door for more potential new customers. Although a business or company can realize a profit, this does not necessarily mean that the company is profitable. That's because the cost of running the business may be higher than the profit it generates, okay? So even though you think that the company is profitable, okay? So your expenses this month were 100,000 and you sold 101,000, that's only $1,000. Is that profitable? It's not really profitable. You need to understand you not only have to cover your expenses, but you have to make enough money to be profitable. You can't only just break even. It cost me 100, I sold 100. That's breaking even. That's not profit. The bottom line is, although profit and profitability sound similar, they are handled almost exclusively when it comes to investing and business management. So rearranging product lines, increasing prices are two theories that hold the most sway over whether a company has a profit or can experience future profitability. Now, increasing your price doesn't always mean increasing your profit because some of your customers might become unable to buy your product because they consider your product too expensive. So usually you have to make sure you can still produce a product and deliver it at the right price. Breaking even. What is breaking even? A break-even point is the difference between covering your expenses and making a profit. All right, does anybody understand what I mean and the importance of being profitable? Okay, for example, guys, if you have 100 customers and your expenses every month are $20,000 and you generate $21,000, is that really profitable? It's not. You've barely covered your expenses. Do you understand that? Every company must have a goal. Profit must be at least 30% or 40% of sales value. For example, I sold $120,000 of product. My profit must be a minimum $40,000. But you can't say because I sold 100,000 and my revenue was 101,000, I'm profitable. You're not profitable. You're barely breaking even. Does everybody understand what I mean by profit and profitability? Yes or no? Everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay, good. So, can anybody give me an example of a business that provides services that has to focus on how long they spend with each customer in order to be profitable? Who can give me an example of a business? Anyone? Come on, think of a business. Any business. If you fly an airline and the aircraft is only 50% full, do you think the airline is making a profit? Probably not. Because if the aircraft is only 50% full, probably only 10% of those customers paid the published fare, the rest of them bought discount fares. So it's likely that the airline can barely cover the cost of fuel, landing. But the reason the airline operates that flight, because when the flight goes to Hong Kong, on the way back, it will come back full. So they will make a profit to cover the loss of the journey going over. Do you understand that, everyone? So airlines use a very calculated risk when they sell airline seats. When you go to buy an airline seat, you might find on one day there's a discount. On another day, it's full price. Why? Because on that day, the seats are very popular. They need to maximize their revenue. Okay, minimize cost, maximize revenue. But if you go to a quiet day where the aircraft doesn't have many passengers, in order to generate enough revenue to cover cost and meet their expenses, which is called break even, they sell discount tickets. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands? Okay. Now, what is the danger of selling discount tickets? If you're operating an Airbus A380 and you can seat 550 passengers, only 120 of them are sold at full fare. All the remainder passengers are sold at discount or promotional fares, then you're still going to generate revenue, but the revenue will be lower than if all of them paid the full fare. That means your profit after you pay your expenses will be lower because the total revenue from that flight was lower because you were unable to sell those seats at full price. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. All right, let's go back to my presentation. Before I do that, let me take you to one more example. Let's go to, for example, a shop where your supermarket. You go to the supermarket to buy fresh vegetables or poultry. You go to the poultry counter, but there's no staff to serve you. They went to lunch. You walk away. They don't sell the chicken that day. They have to throw it out. That's a loss to them. Why? Because there was no one behind the counter. Do you understand what I mean by that? Yes or no? Yeah? You go to a doctor's clinic and there's 20 patients waiting. The doctor sees one patient, another patient, another patient, another patient. And the doctor usually doesn't spend more than 5, 10, 15 minutes unless he needs to. Why? Because he knows there's patients waiting outside. And the longer he takes to see them, they might walk away. And that means his income will go down, but his expenses will remain the same. He still has to pay for electricity. He still has to pay salaries for himself and the nurses. Do you all understand my examples? Yes or no? Okay, good. All right, let's go on, guys. Thank you. Okay, so if the company doesn't generate enough to pay its expenses and have a balance, the company is said to break even. The break-even point is used in multiple areas of business and finance. In accounting terms, it refers to the production level at which total production revenue equals total production costs. So if you produce 200 cars a week, will that be enough to cover the total cost of running the factory for a week? If not, then you're not making a profit. And if it doesn't, then you don't even break even. So that means you'll be at a loss. In investing, the break-even point is the point at which the original cost equals the market price. So if I invest $200,000 in a new machine, can that machine generate $200,000 in product for me to sell? Otherwise, then if I pay $200,000 for the machine, I need to understand how many pieces do I need to produce to cover the cost of running that machine or keeping it working. All right, does everybody understand what I just said? Yes or no? Do you understand that, everyone? Okay, good. All right, let's go on. You need to know what your break-even point is to build a profitable business. If you don't know what the cut is, what the margin is for you to cover your expenses, you can never be profitable. The break-even point is where your total revenue, sales or turnover, equals your total costs. At this point, there is no profit or loss. In other words, whatever you've spent, you've recovered. Break even. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay. Now, of course, if your revenue does not meet your production cost, then you're at a loss. If it meets your production cost, you're at break even. If it exceeds your production cost, you're profitable. For example, in economics and business, specifically cost accounting, the break-even point known as BEP is the point at which cost or expense and revenue are equal. There is no net loss or no gain, and one has broken even. So the cost of the production is equal to the revenue as a result of that production. Now, if the cost of production is higher than the revenue generated, that makes it a loss. If the cost of production is below the revenue generated, that means you profit. If the cost of production and revenue generated are equal, that means you are at break even. Does everybody understand what I just said? Yes or no? Do you understand that, Alfungi? Alfungi? Thank you. For example, the break-even price for selling a product would be the sum of the unit's fixed costs and variable costs incurred to make the product. For example, if it costs $20 total to manufacture this diary, okay, $20 total to manufacture this diary, If it sells for $20 exactly, it is the break-even price. If it sells for $25, then the $5 is your profit. At the end of the week, you sell 100 diaries. Your profit is only $5. That's $500. Then you need to ask yourself, will $500 a week cover all my other expenses, rent, sales staff, electricity, advertising, social media? If the answer is no, then you've lost. If the answer is that $5 will cover your production cost and your other costs, then you are profitable. Okay, so there is 3 different ways or 3 different types of break even. There is what we call revenue break even, time break even, and unit break even. A feng shui. All of these are different areas of break even that you guys should understand and recognize. The different types of break even include unit break even point, the number of units needed to sell and get enough money to cover the cost. Okay. Okay, the next one is revenue break even point, the amount of revenue needed to generate a break even. So it costs you $100 to produce, you earn $100. Does that also cover the cost of your sales, marketing, advertising, rental, electricity? If the $5 covers it, then you're in profit. If the $5 only covers production and doesn't cover all your other fixed and variable costs, then you've lost. And the last one is time break-even point. The amount of time it will take for your business to break even. So if you know that this week I sold 500 units for $500, $500 covers my cost of goods sold. It covers the cost of producing those goods. But if I sell 500 only every week for 1 month, at the end of the month, I'm only going to break even. So in order for me to make a profit at the end of each month, I need to sell 500 this week, 900 the next week, 1,500 the following week, and probably 2,000 the following week. So not only can I cover the cost of goods sold, or in simple terms, the cost of making the goods, but also the additional cost, which are office staff, rental, advertising, social media marketing. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands to me, please? Yes or no? Okay. Does everybody understand what I just said about break even? Yes or no, guys? Yeah? Okay, so can I ask you a stupid question, girls? This is something that you'll all be familiar with. If you go to a hairdressing salon or Korean hairdressing salon, do you think there's a break-even point for that guy that looks after you? Do you think that he has to look after a certain number of customers every day? Yes. Does he have to serve more than one customer every day? Yes. Because that poor guy pays the salon a rental. So what he does, he comes to work. He gets a basic salary after deducting the rental for the chair he uses. For example, this salon is a high-profile salon. The owner knows that chair can actually look after 20 customers a day. The average spending of the customer is $100. That means 20 times 100 is $2,000. So they would say to this stylist, you want to work here and you want to be responsible for this salon chair. So all the customers who are here are yours. I want you to give me $200 a day in rental for your chair. That means $1,400 a week if you work 7 days, or $1,000 if you work 5 days. So now this Korean hairdresser who you love has to not only see one girl a day, he probably has to do 5 hair hairstyles a day or 6 hairstyles a day, and he has to charge not $50 a day, he has to charge probably $100 per customer per day on average to make $600 a day. So the salon takes $200 rent, he gets $400 towards his salary. At the end of the month, they deduct $200 each day for his chair, pay him the balance, which is the profit, as salary. So do you understand why even for your hairdresser, he has what he calls a break-even point? Do all you girls understand that? Yes or no? Do you all understand what I mean, Lani? Okay, every business has a break-even point. If you run a food restaurant and every morning you cook food, you spend $200 on vegetables and protein, and at the end of the day, you sold all your food, but you only got $190 for the sales. You have not even covered the cost of your material. You've lost. If you make $200 worth of raw material into food, you then add on electricity, plastic bags, hot water, time and labor to cook, the number of people working for you. You might calculate that every day you need to make $300 to break even. So if on Monday you make 400, Tuesday you make 400, Wednesday you make 400, Thursday you make 400, and Friday you make 400, then at the end of the week, you've only made $1,000 profit, right? Because $200 every day is the cost of your raw material. $200 is profit. Do you understand that, everyone? Yes or no? But if you prepare the food for $200 and sell $150, then you've lost. You haven't even covered the cost of your goods, your salary, or electricity. Does everybody understand that? Yes? Yes or no? Do you understand that? Kong? Kong here. Do you understand that? Can you wave your hand? Kong here. Kong Tet. Do you understand what I just said? Thank you. All right. Okay. Nyan. Nyan Tet. Do you understand what I just said, Nyan? Nyan? Good. Excellent. Okay. Let's go on. All right. Here we go. Okay. Break-even analysis is not only used for taking strategical decisions, but also has proved to be applicable for those of you who run your own home business, online or day-to-day business. Let's talk about what is break-even analysis. Break-even analysis is where you set yourself a goal about what you want to do, how many customers you want to serve. You plan. You buy the material at the right price. You come up with new products at the right prices. So when you do this analysis, you must make sure that at the end of the day, the new product can sell for the price that the customers can afford. It costs you $10 to produce, but you need to sell it for $20 to cover the cost of production plus your other expenses. So to break even after you paid all the bills, you need $20. However, for you to make a profit, you have to sell that for $25 or $30. So you need to go through break-even analysis on everything you sell or you're planning to sell. So the first part of break-even analysis is your goal. Through break-even analysis, you need to determine the number of goods or products that you need to sell every day in order to generate revenue, and how much revenue you need to generate to cover all costs, and how much you need to add to that in order to make a profit. The second one is planning. The future plans of expansion or growth can be set easily if you know what exactly you are aiming for. Are you aiming to produce 100 units to be sold at $300? Because from $300, $150 covers your costs, $150 is your profit. That means you're making 100% profit on your cost. $150 is cost, $150 profit is 100%. Okay. Now, most businesses don't command that. They generate usually between 30 and 40% profit, and some goods are usually lower. It's probably 5 to 20% profit. Do you understand what we're talking about, everyone? Some expensive machinery can have even a lower profit margin. It can be between 5 and 15%. Okay? All right. Material. You need to be able to manage the material that you're going to use to manufacture your product. You're going to have to make sure that the material is of the right quality, purchased at the right price in order for you to be able to finish the product and sell it to your customer at a price that you are comfortable with. That means that you need to make sure that your product is price-centric. You understand how much the customer is prepared to pay for the product that you sell, which is something he wants. New product. You need to constantly come through with new product in order to keep your customers interested and keep your regular customers buying by upselling to them. Break-even analysis is also used by management for monitoring the performance of new product. So every time you launch a new product, you need to monitor that over the first month, 2 months, 3 months, and see how much have you sold, what cost, and how many have been sold at a profit, and how much profit have you made since the introduction. The price. The price is an essential tool for balancing the cost of the product and setting up the competitive price. For instance, if the price is low, it becomes difficult for the company to attain a break-even position on time. So you need to make sure that the cost of manufacturing, the cost of raw materials is reasonable so that at the end point, after producing cost of goods sold, you are able to add on all your additional expenses in order for you to break even. It's no point just covering the production cost. What about your marketing cost? What about your rental? What about your electricity? What about your telephone bill? All of that has to be covered. Break-even analysis has been widely used by companies to determine profitability of the business. Does everybody understand why break-even analysis is important? Yes or no? Yes or no? Thank you. All right, so let's talk about the advantages of break-even analysis, everyone. The first one is to be able to smart price your product, to be able to price your product based on the research and price centricity that you've studied. And you're able to make better decisions because you understand how much your customer's prepared to pay and what is the maximum you're able to charge. Therefore, you have to be able to make sure that you keep your costs down in order to be able to put a profit margin which will make it profitable. For example, the customer says, I will only pay $50 for this cheap Nokia phone made in China. Therefore, the cost of producing that phone has to be no more than $15 to $20. The cost of the other expenses has to be no more than $8 to $10, which brings it roughly to $38, which would on estimate give Nokia $12. Now, is that enough for Nokia to pay its rent? Well, Nokia no longer manufactures phones. They have them made in China. So when they pay the factory, they buy the product, all they're doing is putting a cost of profit on the product. So the factory makes the product, sells it to Nokia for $12. Nokia add in their costs of advertising, promotion, after-sales service, and they sell the phone for $50. So the difference between $12 and $50, which is $38, would be Nokia's profit per phone sold. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Okay, good, excellent. All right, let's go on. The next one is figure out missing expenses. You need to analyze, is there any expenses that you've never thought of before, expenses that you've overlooked that you're not counting? You can only do that through break-even analysis. You need to plan how to fund the business. How much do you need to raise each month in order to have enough money to expand in 1 year? How much money do you need to raise each month in revenue in order to be able to increase your staffing to meet demand? You need to set yourself revenue and sales targets, and you need to make sure you cover all fixed cost, which you will do if you actually follow the smart pricing formula, taking the cost of production plus additional costs, including salaries, electricity, sales staff, social media marketing, promotion. When you determine all that, then you decide how much to add on to your production cost so that you're at break even. So production cost was $15. All the other expenses were $10. Your break even cost is $25. Now to make a profit, do I add $20 or $25 and sell the product for $50? That is what we call smart pricing. Does everybody understand that, guys? Yes or no? Do you all understand that? Yes or no? Wave your hands. Come on. Okay, good. Does everybody understand what I just explained by break-even pricing? Yes or no? Wave your hands to me, please, everyone. Great. So it's really important because a lot of businesses have this problem. They tell me, oh, sir, I'm running a business. I'm running a business, but I only make very little profit. That's because you haven't done your homework. You don't know what the cost is. You haven't done break-even cost analysis. You don't know how much you need to sell at what price in order to be profitable. You shouldn't be doing business because you'll go broke. Does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Are you sure? Everyone? Okay, does everybody understand that? Yes or no? Wave to me, please. Sing. Okay, good, excellent. All right, good. So can anybody tell me, how do you think a restaurant calculates its profit margin? What sorts of things would a restaurant take into account? Can anyone share with me? A restaurant. Who can put their hand up and share with me? Okay, let's talk to Sunshine. Go ahead, Sunshine. What sorts of expenses does a restaurant have to consider? Are you there, Sunshine? Are you there, Sunshine? You put your hand up. No? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Emily,
I'm
yeah,
here.
go ahead, Sunshine. What sort of expenses do you think a restaurant has to cover?
Come again, sir? Sorry.
Again, Sunshine, you need to listen, please. If you're running a restaurant, other than the cost of raw material, what other costs do you need to cover before you make a profit?
Target the market.
Sorry?
Target the market.
You need to cover the cost of the product you buy from the market, the cost of the staff that work for you, the cost of electricity, the cost of tablecloths, the cost of napkins, the cost of washing the dishes. All of that are costs, right? You agree with me,
Yes,
Sunshine?
agree.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Sunshine. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, all right. So does everybody understand what I mean by understanding the real cost of running the business? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, let's talk to Nigoxiu. Are you there, mate? You want to add to that? Go ahead, Nigoxiu.
Hello, I'm
Yeah,
there.
go ahead.
For a restaurant, I think that the really many charges that will be taken in charge for a restaurant. There's the rent, if you're paying the rent, there's the cost of the production or the cost of buying the stuffs and all. If you have employees, you have to pay
Very
the
good. Yeah,
employees.
rent, food cost, cost of raw materials, cost of
Cost of raw
electricity, cost
materials,
of gas,
exactly.
salary to the chef, salary
And
to the
taxes,
waiters,
taxes.
taxis if you need to go to the market or send the staff home after midnight, anything associated with the cost of running the restaurant, as much as the cost of the detergent you use to wash the dishes, all of that would affect your profit. You're right. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you can remind them of? Are you there? Nicoselli, is there anything else you want to mention?
Nothing, sir. It's okay.
Thank you, Nigoscu. Okay, all right, okay. Anyone else would like to add? Yeah, go ahead, Fayu. Fayu say, go ahead, Fayu.
The utility bills.
Electricity bill? Yes, absolutely. What other bill?
Water.
Electricity bill, water bill,
Water, gas,
the bill from your
the
vegetable
internet.
supplier. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Very good, very good. You got Jocelyn. Go ahead, Jocelyn. Yes, Jocelyn, what would you like to add? Go ahead, Jocelyn.
I think, sir, for the taxes,
Yeah, go ahead.
we have cost for taxes, sir, and the medical insurance for the people, for the employees.
Okay, good, excellent, very good. Thank you. Okay, all right. What else? Anyone else would like to add? Insurance costs for the well-being of the employees? Absolutely. Okay, what about you, Enrico? What would you like to add, Enrico?
Yes,
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Wally.
Yeah, what would you like to add?
I should say I could add some other restaurant add entertainment for that purpose. They hire
So,
musicians
yeah,
like that,
yeah,
other
absolutely.
than bills.
If you bring in entertainers, you have to cover the cost of entertainment. You are
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you, Enrico.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? I'll talk to one more and we'll go on and then I'll come back and talk to more of you. Okay. Seng No, would you like to add? What else would they like to cover? Go ahead, Seng No.
Yes.
Tell me,
So
what else?
yes, we need transportation costs and we have to pay for the staff that we hire for our restaurants.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you very much. It's already been covered. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Good. So does everybody understand now how important covering your cost is? Yes or no? Okay. Good. Excellent. All right. Let me go on now. Let me go to the next slide. Okay. So smart pricing, breaking even analysis is widely used by companies to determine the appropriate price of the product or service such that profit increases and the cost is recovered, as we just spoke about with a restaurant. Better decision making, because when you do break-even analysis, you're able to think clearly about whether you should buy the expensive chicken or the frozen chicken. Which one will allow you to produce the same quality and maximize your profit without cutting the quality? Figure out missing expenses, like we just said, entertainment, dishwashing detergent, taxis for your staff that go home, electricity, lighting bulbs, music. You have to play music, CDs for ambience. All of those are hidden costs. You need to plan. If you want to open another branch in a year, How much profit do you need to make this year in order to open a second branch next year? You need to actually project ahead. How much money do I need to break even? How much do I need to be able to make a profit and expand the business so I can grow? Set revenue and sales targets. You need to say to yourself, my total production cost is this. After all my expenses, my revenue target is this. And that means that I need to earn at least 40% profit on every item I sell. You need to have targets. Otherwise, you will not be able to follow through and have a viable financial profitability. Figures set a target for the lower levels to perform accordingly. All right, so when you set goals or targets, you can use these as a benchmark to say to your restaurant staff, this month we need to generate $5,000 in sales in order for us to be profitable. You need to let them know so they're aware of how important it is to upsell to customers, to promote new products to customers. Do you all understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Yeah, do you understand that, Manika? Manika, do you understand that? Okay. Meeting fixed costs. You need to make sure all your fixed costs, such as rent, electricity, etc., are covered. Remember, break-even point, ladies and gentlemen, is that point of sale where the revenue generated by the company is equal to total cost incurred by it. It is a position where the organization is at no profit, no loss situation. Let's look at the break-even analysis point, okay? So if this company generates revenue of below 400,000 in a given period, it's at a loss. If it generates 400,000, that means they're operating safely, they're covering their variable cost. Okay, however, for them to be profitable, they need to generate at least 60,000 and above. Does everybody understand that, everyone? Yes or no? Can you wave your hands if you understand? Does everybody understand the example I just gave? Yes or no? You all understand the example? All right. So do you all understand what we mean by profit, profitability, and break even? Yes or no? Okay, let's talk to Christopher. Go ahead, Christopher. Unmute your microphone, Christopher. Unmute your microphone, Christopher. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Christopher. How can I help you? Go ahead, Christopher. How can I help you? Are you there? Unmute your microphone, Christopher. Govin, I don't think Christopher can hear me. Can you remind him? He can't hear me, mate. Okay. All right. Anybody else would like to ask any questions? All right. So remember, fixing your cost or agreeing what your costs are and understanding what each phase of your business costs will allow you to calculate the right selling price. Okay? Do you all understand that? And in order to do that, you must know what the minimum profit margin is that you need to add to your cost. If you say that my product costs me $50, and by the time I pay all my bills, I need 50% profit. Okay? 50% of $50 is $25. So the cost is $50. You add $25, you sell it for $75. Does everybody understand the example or not? Yes or no? Okay, good. I want everybody to give me an example of a business that they're running or anyone who runs a business and tell me about how this will affect your business. Who wants to go first? Anybody want to go first? Come on, who wants to go first? Anyone? Put your hands up. Don't be shy. You can just give me an example to show that you understand. Anybody want to put their hand up? Manolin, do you understand what I've explained today, Manolin? Hello, Manolin. Talk to me. How are you today, Manolin? Hi, Manolin. Unmute your
Hi, sir.
microphone. Do you understand what I've explained about profit and break even?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you think that's going to help you in the future?
It helped me a lot.
Good stuff. Are you running a business at the moment, Manolin?
Yes, sir.
What sort of business?
Beauty salon in Dubai.
Okay. And you own it or you work there?
I own it and I manage it also.
Okay, so when you own it, the people that work at your salon, do they pay you rent for their chair or are they employees?
They are employees. I pay them everything.
Right, okay. Have you compared doing it on two different models? You're a beauty salon that provides makeup and beauty services or hair services. What do you provide?
We do all for
Right,
ladies only
all right.
because yeah.
So do you find it more profitable to employ them and pay them a salary, or do you provide, or do you
Yes.
Okay, it is. Okay,
Yes.
that's good. So if that's more profitable, that works. For some salons, it's better for them to pay a rental and then the rest is their salary. But if you've
Yeah.
worked it out and it covers your costs, that's good. So tell me, what sort of expenses do you have to cater for every month? Can you give everybody an example?
I have a lot. I have visa, salary,
Yeah,
internet,
yes,
electricity,
right.
supply.
Okay, so can you tell everyone what sort of margin are you working on? 20%, 30%, 40%? What sort of margin?
What do you mean margin, sir?
So if you take a lady who comes in for a facial and hairdo, your cost is to say $100. What is your profit margin that you need to make? Is it 50% being $50? Is it 100% being $100? How much do you add to the costs of the service for you to be profitable?
I don't actually compute that.
Well, you
But
should. You
yes,
should.
but yeah. But we have the big plans for the full month, not for
All
per
right.
service or
So you charge by the month. They're on a monthly plan. Is that right?
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So have you calculated how much it costs you to service that lady for 1 month and how much profit you're making? Have you worked that
Yeah.
out? All right.
It's
So
it's
yeah, go
30
ahead.
to 40%.
Okay, you're on the right track. Okay. But let me tell you, from somebody who's run businesses before, for a beauty salon, 40% is very low. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very difficult now, sir. Before it
Yeah.
was good, but now it's difficult.
Okay, for an average Korean hair salon in Korea, their profit margin is somewhere between 60 and 70% per customer. All right. In
Mm-hmm.
Japan, it's probably 80%. In
Mm-hmm.
Singapore, it's around 60%. For a
Mm-hmm.
beauty salon like yours in Singapore, who offers them spa, jacuzzi, facial, everything, they're running probably on 60 to 70% margin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
Because sir, here in
yes.
Dubai, we only take ladies to ladies uh
I
client. We
know
cannot do men client. We are so limited.
your market is limited, I know, but you
Yes.
need to try to work on your costs and see how you can strive to get it up to 50%. And I'm sure you can come up with a way, whether you give them an incentive program and increase your costs by 20 dirhams and say for
Yeah.
every visit you get 10 visits, you get one free visit. You need to try to
Yes.
get it to the 50% mark.
Yes.
50% would be the
And
minimum optimal you should be running at.
and people in Dubai, sir, they come and go. We don't have young age much, and we don't have older people. We don't have permanent residents. Like they come and go. After 2 years, they're gone. So we are again building new client like every
Yeah,
time.
that is because the economy in Dubai is not made to sustain long stay.
Yeah.
Dubai has
So
come very expensive for expats, so you'll
yes,
find a lot don't stay very long.
yes. I understand other country they're doing good, but here it's very challenging now.
Okay, but I commend you. You're a very brave lady. Good luck with your business, and please keep me updated if you need any help. I'm so proud of you. Good girl. And I
Thank
was
you,
very
sir.
happy when you said 30 to 40%. If you said 20%, I would have had a heart attack. But you're on the right track, young lady. Good work. Give
Thank
her
you,
a big
sir.
hand, everyone. Everybody, give her a big hand. Come on, everyone. Very good. Excellent. Would anybody else like to share their experiences? Who else would like to share? Go ahead. Genevieve, are you there, Genevieve? Tell us about your experiences, Genevieve. Go ahead, Genevieve. Are you there, Genevieve? You want to talk to me, Genevieve? Go ahead. Yes, what would you like to share with me?
I don't have to. I don't anything to share, sir.
Have you learned anything from today's lesson, Genevieve?
Yes, sir. A lot.
Has it helped you?
Yes.
Very good. Excellent, Genevieve. Okay, let's go to someone else. Let's talk to Vanessa. Vanessa, do you want to share anything with Wally? Go ahead, Vanessa. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yeah,
From
what have you learned?
I don't run a business at the moment. I'm working in the office.
All right.
But from what
But,
I've understood, when you establish a business, you have to have a break-even point for
right,
analysis, so you can determine if you are earning or you are getting losses from the
right. So
business.
you've learned something from today's Biz Talk?
Yes, yes, sir.
Good on you. Good on you. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk to Duong. Duong Nguyen. Hi, Duong. How has today's lesson helped you, Duong? Are you there, Duong? No? Okay, let's talk to Danang Pratama. Are you there, Danang? Go ahead, Danang. Go ahead, Danang.
Yeah, hello.
What have you learned from today's Biz Talk?
I'm going to tell my experience in the past. I mean, tells about charcoal. You know charcoal?
Yes, and
Yeah. Okay, I'm from Indonesia.
right. And how profitable is your charcoal business?
It was good, but I'm not the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
work there?
I'm just
You work there, or it's a family business?
no, I work there as a
Right.
salesman.
Okay. So how profitable is the charcoal business now?
Now, yeah, not bad.
All right. So what sort of margins do you work on? 50%, 40%? What sort of margin?
It's too small. For me, it's too small. About 20%.
Right.
For one
20%.
transaction.
All right. So for every bag of charcoal that you sell, the profit for the company is 20%. Is that right?
Yeah, for one transaction, but it's a lot regulation, and now a more regulation.
Right. So regulation as to what? That means the quality of the charcoal.
From the government.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's to protect consumers against pollution and protecting the environment. That's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me, are you able to meet your sales targets every month?
Actually, every week.
Very good. Excellent. Very nice. So have you learned anything from today's lesson?
Sometimes. I'm sorry, I can speak English well, but
No, you're
I'm going
doing
to
very
try my
well.
best.
I'm
Okay.
very proud of you. Keep going. So what have you learned from today's lesson?
I have a lot of lesson from the other people who tell about their story.
Yes, and?
Yeah, like the girl who said about is the owner of cosmetic and the others. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But have you taken away anything that's going to help you in future?
Yes, of course, because
Of course.
everyone have their experience, and that's mean a lot for us.
Excellent. Good stuff. I look forward to seeing you at the next leadership or biz talk session. Thank you so much for joining me today. Okay. Who else would like to talk to Wally? Could you put up your hand? Okay. Relema Wallo, go ahead. Are you there, Relema? Go ahead, Relema.
Yes.
Go ahead. Yes, go
Good
ahead.
evening, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, tonight's session is interesting because I understand now, understood what profitability is and break-even point.
Right. Do you think that's going to help you moving forward with running your business or at the job you do?
Yes, it is.
All right. Okay. So what do you think you've learned today that you're going to use straight away?
One of the things I've learned is that some small SMEs or small businesses fail because they don't really identify or know the hidden expenses.
All right, good, excellent. Okay, so they don't know when to break even with their expenses. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay,
so
understood.
break-even analysis is important because they really have to identify and improve from understanding the analysis. So
okay, good. So what you're saying is that break-even analysis is important, that every business should do it. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much, Relma. Anything else you would like to add?
Yes, I've also realized my failure, say running my own SME, and I believe, and that's the weak point I mentioned. I've never identified some of the expenses that were affecting the business. So that's why
good.
I was thinking
good.
that I was making profit, but not realizing that probably I was operating on loss.
Excellent. Okay, understood. Anything else?
Thank you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Would you like to ask me anything for your business? Is there anything you want my advice on?
Maybe when I need, I'll send you an email or maybe chat.
Okay, thank you. All right.
That's a night.
Okay, who else would like to talk to me? Okay, let's talk to Emily and then Flora. Go ahead, Emily. Are you there, Emily?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Currently, we're running a private resort business in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like when I heard your discussion about the break-even analysis, it's really made an impact on me because, of course, for us business owners, we cannot just pluck in the air the rates or the selling price that we're going to put in our, let's say in the menu or in our flyers. So yeah, it's really good that I attended this session. And
of course.
yes,
but Emily, how do you calculate your cost? You go through, what does it cost you? What do the ingredients cost you? How much time does it take to prepare that? How many meals every day does the chef have to prepare in order to generate revenue to cover my daily operational costs? How much is electricity on average a day? Okay, so if you calculate that in a restaurant business, your food cost, the cost of producing the food and putting it on the table should be somewhere between 25% and 30%.
Yeah.
If your cost is above 30%, you are not doing it correctly.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
so if you can maintain a food cost below 30% and charge 30 to 40% as your profit, you should be making money and exceeding break even. All right. But that is provided that your food cost is below 30%. Okay. So if your cost is $15, you can sell that dish for $24 or $25. Depending on what market you're in, you can go to $30 if you're in a shopping center, or $29.99, which is friendlier to the customer. But you need to make sure that your food cost is in with the acceptable range. All right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that help you, Emily?
Yeah. When it comes to our, because we also incorporate the the cafe in the resort. So yeah, so when it comes to the food costing and the costing of the items that we're going to sell, it really helps me. Because we cannot just, like what I've said, we cannot just pluck numbers from the air, something like that.
Okay, good.
The
All right.
cost of the goods.
Okay, understood. Okay, that's very good. So today's session has been helpful. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Good on you, Emily. If you need any other help, you can always WhatsApp me or message me, all right? You
Yeah,
you
thank
know
you.
that, right? Good on
Yes,
you,
sir.
mate. Take care. Okay, let's go to Flora. Go ahead, Flora.
Hi, hello. Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
Flora. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
go ahead.
Actually, I am not the one who's running the business, but I am the one who gives capital for the business.
Yeah,
And I have a small eatery in the Philippines, which
yes,
is my brother is the one who's running it. And
yes.
he told me that there's no much of customers daily. So like he was losing in his business, like uh, losing for how much he spend every day by earning. So I decided to come up with one solution just to add on another business. Like
Yes.
I put a billiard hall on it, which is beside of the
Yeah,
eatery.
yeah.
So now because it attract the crowd and the the business of the eatery is become triple of the
Very good. How many billiard
yeah,
tables have you got?
yeah, he cover up the losses from past
So you got
few
two
days.
tables, three tables?
No, I just started with one table first.
And
Because
eventually,
I
if
just
it's
started,
really popular, you can put another table in and that will
yeah, I just
grow.
started this past week about the table.
Okay.
I just got the table past week and it's
Yeah.
really good. So
Good.
I
Excellent.
will,
Good
yeah, I
idea.
will add another table by the time come. So I
Okay.
will
So how
just
do you
try first
charge for the
because of what
table? You charge by the hour
no per game.
per day. So if they play on
You
the
know, it's per
table
game. It's per game.
per game. So one
Yes.
game, certain number of peso. They finish that game, they play a new game, they pay again. Is
Yes,
that right?
yes,
Okay,
precisely, yes.
that's good. So whether the game takes 30 minutes or half an hour, it's up to them. But every time
Precisely.
they put the balls in the frame, they pay again. Very
Yeah,
good. Very good
yeah.
idea. Excellent. Okay, excellent. And
Thank
is
you.
it one of those tables where they put money in the table or they pay the restaurant?
Sorry?
Do they put their money in the table to get the balls, or do they pay at the counter and you give them the balls? How does it work?
They pay after the game.
Right, okay. So they play the game, they pay, or they
Yeah.
tell the cashier how many games and they pay. Is that right?
Yeah, after the game they pay, and then if they want to play again, then they can proceed
Good
for
on you.
another
Very
game
good
again.
idea. Good idea.
So
Excellent.
now,
Very good
so now
thinking,
the
young
eatery,
lady.
yeah. So now the eatery it really earned profit
Picking up.
triple than before.
Very good.
So it's like
Excellent,
two,
Flora.
yeah.
I'm very proud of you, Flora. If you need any help, just let me know. Drop me a message, all right?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Flora. I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, excellent. Who else wants to talk to me? Okay. Uh, who have I got? Ngoxu? Are you there, Ngoxu? Go ahead.
I'm there. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Ngoxu.
So, sir, what I learned today, and I'm very happy of that I had to note it down, is that you said it's not because the business is running that you are surely making a profit. And that is very important for us to note it and
Absolutely.
be careful with
Just
that.
because it's making money, it doesn't mean it's profitable. Making money and being profitable are two different calculations. You follow me?
Okay. I'm following you.
Okay, good. Does you think today's lesson has helped you, Ngoxu?
Yeah, very important.
Thank you very much. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to WhatsApp me or email me. All right, young man? Ngoxu, are you there? Okay, great.
I'm there, sir.
Excellent. Thank you. You're welcome, Ngoxu. Okay, let's go to the next person. Let's talk to Lani Castro. Are you there, Lani? Yeah, Lani, go ahead.
Hi, sir. The lesson today is I learned a lot, but I have one question.
Just go ahead.
It's just like if you want to build a business, it's like you want your business to be improved. One is how do you maximize the sale of how do you maximize the sale and the profitability like that? Like how you will be managed, your sale will be growing up, not to dig down.
Okay, you need to slow down. That's a big question. Are you saying how do you maximize sales or how do you maximize profitability?
The maximize the sale one.
The profit, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so to maximize profit, you first must understand the 5 C's. You must know what product your customer wants, what is your market, how much they're prepared to pay, what quality they want, at what level of service they want. All right. So once you know those 5 C's and you know how much the customer's prepared to pay for your product, then you need to make sure you're able to deliver that. So if you're delivering chicken adobo at 10 peso a plate, and the customer is prepared to pay 15 peso for good adobo, you need to charge 15 peso, but you need to make sure that your cost is only 7 peso or 7.5 peso, so you're making 50% profit. Do you understand where I'm coming from? You must make sure you control your costs and cover the profit, because other than the food costs for the chicken, the potato, the spices, the water, and the cook, you also have the rent, the electricity, cleaning the tables, napkins, people, the person who serves it, the rice, if you give it free, all of that is part of your cost. So you need to work out how much do I need to add to every meal to make a profit. If adobo costs me 7 peso, how many peso do I add? Do I add 50%, 30%, or 100%? So if you say I need to add 100%, then the adobo costs you 7 peso to make, but your selling price is 14 peso, which is 100%. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Depending what your costs are. So your raw material is 2 peso. Your chef's salary, 1 peso. Electricity, 1 peso. Waitress, 1 peso. The rice, the napkins, and everything else, 2 peso. You've now got it up to 10 peso, right? 10
Yes, yes.
peso. And your the cost of your adobo materials are 7, right? 7 plus 10 is 17. So your total cost, 7 peso for raw material. You've added on electricity, water, serviettes, social media marketing. That's another 10 peso. That's 17 peso. Now you have to work out your margin. How much does the average customer pay in your city for adobo? The last time I was in adobo, I think I paid 40 peso, 50 peso for really good adobo at a restaurant, inside restaurant, right? Not a food shop, a restaurant. Okay. So if you're saying that it costs you 17 peso, you need to ask yourself, how much will my customer pay? Will they pay 30 peso? Will they pay 40 peso? And the only way you know that is by being customer centric, by doing analysis before you price your adobo. Do you understand that, Lani?
Yes, yes, sir.
Does that help you?
Yes, sir. But so it's mean it's just like it is okay to increase your price a bit. Is it not
Well,
is
it
this
depends how much you increase it by.
oh yeah, I got it,
Okay, all right.
sir.
So the cost of the raw material, the cost of producing that adobo should be no more than 30% of the price. Okay. For example, if you sell the adobo for $10, your cost of the adobo, the food cost alone, should be $3. Your other costs could be $3. That's $6, right? That means $6 less the $10 that means your profit margin is only 40%. Do you understand that? So you have to make sure that your selling price is within customer reach based on how much the customer is prepared to pay. And the food cost you're running for the cost of the food alone is not more than 30%. Okay? Now,
Yes, sir, I got
once
it.
you take food costs of 30%, you add on 20% or 30% depending on your other costs, then you determine your selling price. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So if you can send me an email or WhatsApp with one of your menu items and what your costs are, I will show you. I will do the price calculation in Excel and send it back to you, and you can do that for all your items. All right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And you have to be very detailed, Lani. You have to work out how many pieces of chicken do I put in one dish? How much do they cost me? How many potatoes? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do I give them bread? How many pieces of bread? Do I give them rice? How much does the rice cost me? Is the rice free flow or they pay 2 peso per bowl? You have to take all of that into account. Are you using disposable chopsticks or are they plastic chopsticks that you can wash? How much does it cost you to wash the chopsticks? How much does it cost you to wash the plate? Do you use paper plates or do you use real plates? Which one is cheaper? Do you understand me, Lani?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, good on you. Thank you very much. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Lani.
you.
You're welcome. Okay, anybody else like to talk to Wally? Tran Min, Nick, go ahead, Tran Min. Are you there, Nick?
Yes, I'm here.
What's your question?
I have a question related to the is this like IT services? This kind of services isn't covered by the unit sale. It's covered by the professional service. So sometimes it's quite challenging to justify the cost to put the correct price for the product. So I just want to know what is the method to identify the break-even point in this kind of business?
Well, okay, let me understand. IT services is a big word. Are you into hardware or software services?
Hardware.
All right, so first you have to ask you repair, maintain, or you supply?
I resell the hardware from the
Okay,
distributor.
all right. So, okay, first thing you need to do is take the average cost you buy from your distributor and what people are paying in the market. So you need to do your research. If you buy a hard drive for 2,000 peso, this hard drive is, for example, Lenovo, and the average selling price is between 10,000 peso and 25,000 peso, you need then to ask yourself, what are your costs? Do you have rental, shop rental? Do you have sales team? Do you have marketing? Do you have warehouse expense? What are your expenses? When you sell that hard drive, do you provide follow-up service, maintenance for how long? How much does that all cost? So we've already decided that the cost of buying it from your suppliers, 7,000 peso, okay? And on the market, it's selling for 20,000 peso. Now you have to work out your other costs, your salary, the rental, the warehouse, the delivery, any after sales service, okay? If you're going to give them credit, you need to send them an invoice and wait 1 month. How much is that costing you, okay? All right. Now, if you're going to factor out the invoice, say I sell to ABC company and then I send the invoice to the finance company pay me, then they collect the invoice from ABC. That's called factoring, okay? Now, the factoring company is going to charge you 10%. So your cost is 2,000 peso, or sorry, 3,000 peso, plus the 2,000 peso to the finance company, 5,000 peso. Then your salary, your advertising, your rent, delivery, all the other phone calls you had to make, another 3,000 peso. So you've got 3 plus 2's 5 plus 3's 8. And then you look at it. Well, hold on. I'm going to go and visit the customer 2 times for after sales service. how much does that cost every time? 1,500 peso? That's 3,000 peso. You're now up to 10,000 peso. So then you ask yourself, what is the market selling it for? All right. The big companies are selling it for 17,000 peso. The small guy next door to you is selling it for 16,000 peso. So if you want to be competitive and fit in and be able to get customers, you can't charge above 17,000 peso. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
You have to bring it to 16,900 peso so you're cheaper, so you'll attract customers. So that means you have to control your cost. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Tran? You either have to negotiate for a better cost from your supplier or minimize your costs in delivering it to the customer.
Okay, okay, I understand.
Does that help you?
Yes, it's helping me because I'm
Okay,
planning to open one.
Okay, Tran, what you can do is build an Excel sheet, and at the top you put cost of product. Okay, then
Yes.
under that you put delivery charge, delivery, supplier delivery charge. Okay, then you put delivery to customer charge. Okay. Then you put advertising cost, rent cost, Nick's salary. Okay, after sales service cost. Put all of that into an Excel table. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen.
All right.
Now, after that, you go and do a comparison on the market. You ring 5 or 6 companies, pretend you're a customer, and ask them what is the best price they'll give you for that. Okay.
Okay.
Then send it to me and I'll give you some advice about your retail price. Does that help you?
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will do that.
You
Yeah.
don't try to price yourself together with all the big players because they have stock in the warehouse. They probably buy 20 units. So you have to price yourself at a price that, remember that you need to buy one, sell it so you can buy another one, unless you have money to buy 2 or 3. So remember, the idea is the more you sell, the more you buy, the more you sell. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you can't afford to carry stock, what you can do is go to one of the finance companies in the Philippines or the banks and say, I'm going to start a hardware business and I want you to provide me factoring service, FACTORING, on my invoices to my customers. So what that means, today you supply Allianz in Manila with 3 hard drives. You send an invoice to Allianz for 40,000 peso. On the bottom of your invoice, you tell Allianz that this invoice has been factored to the First Philippines Bank. Okay? So when they pay, they don't pay you. They pay Philippines First Bank. But what does that do for you? On the day you deliver to the bank, they sign your delivery note. You go to the bank, you give them your invoice and delivery note, and they pay you. For example, your invoice was for 70,000 peso. They will say, for every invoice we buy off you, we charge you 10%. So 70,000 less 10% is 63,000, right? They'll give you 63,000. You're happy. You got money. Okay. And you can use that 63,000 to buy another unit. So you have to tell me, are you going to be doing the business on cash terms? Are you going to be giving your customers credit and factoring your invoices? Or are you ready to wait 30 days for payment? Because all of that will play a role in your retail price. Do you understand that, Nick?
Yes, I understand. But I'm based in Singapore. I'm not in Philippines.
You're in Singapore? Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
It's even easier. In Singapore, there's 20 factoring companies.
Yeah.
And most of the hardware companies actually factor their invoice out. All right?
Okay. Okay.
You can, or if you don't want to factor, you can tell your customers to go through somebody like Atomi, which is an online payment method, where when they come to buy from you, they set up an online payment scheme with a company called Atomi or one of those other payment companies, and they buy from you. And when they buy from you, they scan the Atomi QR code and
Okay.
Atomi will give them 6-month installments or 5-month installments. So as soon as they've scanned and paid you, okay, Atomi transfers to you within 3 to 5 working days, less their commission, which I think is about 15%. Okay. And the customer pays them directly. So you need to tell me, what will your payment methods be? Will they be credit card? Will they be cash? Will they be credit? Will they be Atomi? Will they be Apple Pay? Because all of those have a margin, and I need to calculate those into your cost. Do you understand that, mate?
Yes, yes. Basically, so my business will be doing in a contract basis. So the payment term will be divided in the stage by the project. It's not
Okay.
like
So,
actually
okay.
by the
Again,
unit selling.
okay. All right. But when you say contract is going to be paid by stages, the contract is over 1 year. And during that year, they're going to buy $100,000 worth of equipment. Are they going to pay you for the equipment in advance or after you deliver?
They have to pay me first 50% of the contract value for me to order.
Yeah, okay. You might have a problem with that, Nick, because if you're saying it's a 1 year contract and they want the equipment over 1 year, no company's going to give you 50% of a 1 year contract in advance. You're going to have a real problem with that, okay? What you need to do is work on, okay, it's a 1 year contract. However, for the hardware, you need to pay upfront for the cost of the hardware, and then I'll invoice you for the rest every month, okay? But be very careful, because if you start saying to them, you pay me upfront for 1 year, and then during the year you run out of money and you can't supply the hardware, you're in trouble, okay? Because the price of that hardware might go up. You're going to get yourself into trouble.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. So you might want to look at the financing option and join up with a finance company, whether it's Atomi or any of the finance companies in Singapore. If you drop me a message, I can give you some names you can talk to. But no hardware company does it like that. You know, even the banks, they sign contracts for ATM machines, and every time they order an ATM machine, okay, the bank actually transfers a certain amount for that machine before it's delivered to their premises. And after it's installed, they pay a yearly service contract. All right. But, you know, can you imagine Boeing delivering a $240 million 787 Dreamliner on credit? Do you think they would do that?
No.
You understand where I'm coming from? They
Yeah.
get deposit, they get partial payments during the building, and the aircraft does not get handed over to them until the balance reaches their bank account. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So, for example, if Emirates ordered an A380 today at $450 million, the initial payment might be 20%. Then they start paying for engines and all the parts. By the time they go to take delivery, there might be 300 million left, all right, or 200 million left. Before the Emirates crew can take possession of that aircraft, what does Boeing want? They want the money to reach their bank account. Are you aware of that? Okay. So Emirates has to make sure they either have the money ready before the delivery date, or they have a finance company who's going to pay for them, a bank. Otherwise, Boeing will not give them the aircraft. Okay?
Okay.
And if they don't pay on time, Boeing will not guarantee delivery because it will delay manufacture. If you have a payment due and you don't pay it, Boeing will stop working on your aircraft. They'll say, no payments, stop. Wait till we get our money. Why should we work if they haven't paid us for the parts? Do you understand what I mean by that, Tran?
Yes, I understand.
And a lot of times you hear that the airline has delayed delivery. The reason why they delay delivery, Tran, is not because they want to. It's because they haven't got the money to pay. Do you understand that? So it's cheaper for them to delay delivery than cancel the order. Because if they cancel the order, they have to pay a penalty.
Yeah.
And every time they delay, Boeing will charge a penalty as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I giving you some ideas to think about, Tran?
Yeah. All right. I'm thinking about.
Does that help you?
Yes, yes, yes. It's helping a lot.
Well,
Thank you,
But
sir.
please don't go down this idea, pay 1 year 50% in advance for 1 year and 50% at the end. What happens if 6 months down the line they order a new server and you don't have the money to supply it? You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I
You'll be
understood.
in real trouble. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you are right.
Okay, all right, I'll leave that with you. Thank you, Tran. Does anybody else want to talk to me? Anybody else want to talk to me? Come on, guys. I'm here to talk. I love talking. I told you at the beginning, I've just had ankle surgery. I'm in pain. So when I talk, I feel better. So help me. Talk to me, everyone. Govind? No? Okay, Govind. All right, Manolin. Yes, Manolin. Go ahead, young lady.
For family. Hi,
Yes,
sir.
go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Manolin.
I get Lavat. Do you have any question?
No, I'm asking you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, no, sir. Sorry.
Okay, good on you. I'm very proud of you, Madeline. Keep going with your business. If you have any help or you need any help, you let me know. All right, young lady?
Okay, sir. Thank
What
you.
part of Dubai are you in? Where in Dubai are you?
I'm in JLT. It's
Okay, all
near
right.
Marina and JBR, near the
Okay,
Palm. We are in
okay.
expensive area.
But you chose that, right? Because you're trying to attract the right customer, right?
Yes. Our
And
rent here is like 55,000 Singapore dollars
a year or a month?
a year.
55,000 is not much, you know. For 12 months, that's not much. That's only about what?
It's like
$4,000 a month?
150. Yeah,
Okay,
but
but
this
that's
is
not
small
much.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but hold on. In Singapore, you probably pay $80,000 rent for that, okay, a year. So you're on an average rent. I'd say it's not over, it's average, but it's very
Mhm.
small. Is it? How big is the space?
Sorry, sir.
How big is your shop space?
Uh, 66.
66 square meters, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that enough for all your customers and equipment?
Yeah, we cannot really do a lot of service.
All right. So now you have to start asking yourself, is it time to get another shop, increase the services to increase revenue? Is it time to move to a better location with a lower rental and bigger space? Will that affect the business? How important is that location?
The place where the lower rental is also lower price of the service.
Right.
It's everywhere is challenging.
Yeah, I know, but you have to decide. Are you better off with a bigger space, more services, more customers, or a higher price, less customers, less services? You need to draw a balance, Manolin. Unless I look at statistics, I can't really advise you. But what I know for 10 years I spent in Dubai, the area you're in is one of the best areas to be in, that's for sure. Okay. And it's where all the money is. But with all the foreigners that are leaving Dubai now, for me, I'd rather you be in one of the cheaper areas where some of the local women will come to you. It might be better than the expensive area, which was good 2 years ago. It's just something for you to think about. You need to
But
compare.
sir, now the in Dubai there is like more than 5,000 salons already.
Well, yeah, I know the government's giving
Every
licenses
street
to
is
everyone.
there is salons.
Yeah. Every
A lot
foreign
of
girl in the country with money is opening a salon in Dubai. I know, I know,
yes, yes.
I know. All
Every
right, well,
building has.
well, you need to be competitive. You need to come up with services that no one else has. All right. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
You offer your ladies coffee and tea when they come. You offer them the
Yes.
choice of coffee, tea, fresh fruits, maybe a light aperitif, a dessert, or
Yes.
chocolates, or yeah, maybe that's something you can think of. Maybe you should have a little lounge where the ladies can sit and socialize while they're waiting, or munch on chocolate and drink hot chocolate and coffee. Maybe you can have a little girl with a black dress and a white apron to serve them coffee as a gimmick. I don't know. Maybe you can have like a little butlerette at the door that welcomes them in, takes their handbag and jacket, offers them tea, coffee, and some fresh fruit before their service. I mean, you need to come up with gimmicks which separate you
Yeah.
from the others. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know in Dubai you
It's
can't
nice
offer
there, but
alcohol. At a lot of the salons in Singapore, they offer them wine and cocktails, but in Dubai you can't
yeah.
do that. So I won't even
Yeah.
suggest that.
There's a lot of restriction here in Dubai.
Oh, well, you know what? That's what the government in Dubai is like. It's very good at placing restrictions so they can make money. That's what Dubai is all about, money.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. How long have you been in Dubai, Madeline?
11 years.
Are you married in Dubai or are you single running a business?
I'm widow already.
You're a widow.
So
God
I'm
bless you. I'm sorry I asked. No, it's okay. But you're
it's
you're
okay.
you're already used to the United Arab Emirates. You've been there for some time.
Yeah. I'm
All
running
right.
the salon for 5 years.
God bless you. Okay. And you enjoy living in Dubai?
Yes, sir. It's nice here.
Okay. Well, I used to enjoy Burj Dubai and smoking shisha there, but after 11 years, I got sick of Dubai and I ran away. I left Dubai. But yeah, I mean, enjoy it. It's a beautiful country. Hopefully one day I'll come back and I'll call you and we'll have coffee. All right? Would you
Sure,
be happy
sir.
to do that? You're welcome. Have a
Yes.
great day, Madeline. Take care.
You
God bless
too.
you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you,
All
sir.
right. No
Bye-bye.
worries. Does anybody else have any questions, guys? Anybody else have any questions? Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, last question from Lani. Go ahead, Lani. Lani?
Yes, sir. Since we are talking about the profitability, uh, profitability is included the demand, right, sir?
Sorry?
So, since we're talking about profitability, the demand
Profitability,
is
yes.
yes, sir. The demand include the profitability. So, what
Yes.
business is the highest demand if you want to build a
That's a big
business?
question, Lani. You need to tell me which country you're in. What part of the world are you in?
No, I'm working here in Singapore, sir, right now.
Demand in Singapore, to be honest, I think the only business that's doing well at the moment in Singapore is the food business. All right? Food and beverage.
Oh,
All right, and it's very expensive to get into because of the rental,
yes, sir.
unless
Yeah.
you go into a coffee shop. All right, and
Yes.
even then they're very expensive. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You're welcome. But if you get the coffee shop of the National Environmental Authority, the NEA, you rent directly from the NEA, not from the private coffee shops, you might get it cheaper. But to rent a coffee shop from the National Environmental Authority, you have to go online and you have to bid. It's like a lottery. So whoever offers more money for that store will get it. That's the only way you can save money on the rental. You can pay anything from $1,200 a month up to $10,000 a month, depending where the stall is located. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, you're welcome, Lani. If you need any help, just drop me a message. I'd be happy to help you. All right, Lani?
Yes, sir. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Okay, let's go on. Sunshine, last question. Go ahead, Sunshine.
I learned
Yes,
a lot
Sunshine.
from you today, really. But those I applied for my milk tea business in the Philippines, but unfortunately we did not make it because of the pandemic. So
Yeah,
now
well,
I'm
but Sunshine, you didn't make it because of the pandemic, okay?
yes,
And a lot of companies suffered because of the pandemic. Unfortunately,
exactly.
during the pandemic, unless you had a delivery service or something, you would have
Even
survived. So at least now you've learnt for the next time you go into business. Is that right, Sunshine?
yeah, even delivery services we did not really working. But now I'm working here in Israel as caregiver. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm planning. We have a one mountain. The Australian man developed the place, and we have a White House, the golf, the basketball court, the church, girls' dorm, and everything. But it was way back a long time ago. But now we can save it, and I'm planning to make it as a garden and resort. So I applied those what we learned, and I learned also today. But I want to ask you something. How can I start the business. How can I'm so stressed? I'm so stressful today because I don't know how to start it because I'm thinking about the one I heard today, and the one thing more is the tax. You know, the permits, the business permits,
Yeah,
the
but hold
tourist.
on, Sunshine. It looks like you don't even have a business plan. What you need to do,
Yes,
Sunshine, is
I
you
want
need
to
to come
do.
up. Yeah, you need to learn what a business plan is. You need to
Yeah.
write a document for a business plan, which might be 20 or 30 pages, and you need to send it to me to read. I can't really tell you
Okay.
in 5 minutes, but you need to have a business plan. First, who's going to give you this property? Are they going to rent it to you, or how are you going to get it?
No, it's our own property.
You
So
own
no
it?
way. Yeah, yeah.
All
From
right.
our
And
grandparents.
okay. All right. So it's already in Israel.
No, no, it is in the Philippines, the
So you're going to
northern
go back,
part.
you're going to go back to the Philippines and run it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so you need to find out what sort of work you need to do for it, how much maintenance it needs, how much your monthly running costs. What are you going to sell it as? Serviced apartments, hotel, resort? Are your rooms as good as the other resorts around you? What sort of services are you going to offer? Who are you going to put it under? Are you going to run it under your own private brand, or are you going to join it with one of the big hotel brands like Accor or Marriott, or one of the brands that can promote it for you? Because if you go to one of those brands, they might ask you to do certain work and pay them a management fee, and they'll run it for you. So you need to think of all of that and tell me how you want to run the business. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, but I'm happy to help you, Sunshine. But before you do that, you need to either call me, email me, and I can give you some advice about a business plan. You can work on it. Then once you've done it, I'm happy to read it and give you some advice. Would that help
Okay.
you?
Yeah. So please, how can I reach your email, sir?
Mr. Govind, can you give this young lady my email address, please, Govind, which is eih.wally, WALLY01 @gmail.com. Govind will send it to you by chat now, Sunshine. All
Thank you,
right?
sir.
You're
So I'm
welcome.
looking
Okay.
forward for your advice, and
You're welcome.
I'm so
My
happy.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions from Wally before I go? Okay. Thank you for joining me for BizTalk 9090 today. We've done 90 BizTalks together. Wave to me, everyone. Okay, is everybody happy? I'll see you all at the next Leadership or BizTalk session. I do remind you that we have Motivation Madness on Monday night at 8 o'clock. Please join it. It's an exciting session by my mentor and my boss, Mr. Benson Ma. All right, everybody, please visit us at social media, at Facebook, and give me the thumbs up. All right, everyone? We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram, and we are on YouTube. And in another 5 or 7 days, you'll be able to watch this BizTalk on YouTube. Okay? Thank you, everybody, for attending. And you will all get a copy of today's PowerPoint together when you receive your certificate. Okay, everyone? I love you all. I'll see you at the next session. Thank you, Mr. Govind. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Govind, put my email address in the chat box for everyone, please. All right? Okay? Just one moment. Mr. Govind is putting my email address in the chat box. eh.wally01 @gmail.com. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. I love you all. Good night, everyone. Good night.